Did you know that Tennessee passed the Equal Access to Interstate Commerce Act? The Equal Access to Interstate Commerce Act limits local government's ability to implement anti discrimination ordinances that go beyond the scope of state law. Specifically, it prohibits local governments from creating or enforcing anti discrimination practices that are not already covered by the Tennessee Human Rights Act. This effectively prevents cities and counties from enacting their own expanded anti discrimination protections for groups like the LGBTQIA on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. It also amends the Tennessee Human Rights Act to define the term sex to mean an individual person as male or female as indicated on the individual's birth certificate. And the act was passed in 2011. Tennessee law has punished hate crimes on the basis of sexual orientation since 2001. The law does not explicitly include gender identity, though it's covered by federal law. In 1977, the Tennessee state legislature prohibited the state from altering the sex on a birth certificate. In 2003, Governor Lee signed into law a definition of the term sex, which under Tennessee law is determined by the anatomy and genetics existing at time of birth. 2019, Governor Lee signed into law legislation defining a transgender person using the bathroom corresponding with their gender identity as indecent exposure. 2020, what I'm like, really? Really? You know, I've done the majority of the southern states, and I think that's the worst one I've heard so far. Using the bathroom that matches your gender identity as indecent exposure. That's the worst one so far. I digress. May of 2021, Governor Lee signed two other bathroom bills. It banned transgender students from using bathrooms within public schools and required small businesses to post warning signs if they allowed transgender people in multi-person bathrooms. Small business owners faced up to 6 months jail for non-compliance. I'm not going to start. We're going to keep going. We are going to keep going before I go off. Davidson County District Attorney General Glenn Funk said his office would not dedicate any resources to enforcing the legislation, stating that his office will not promote hate. July 1st, 2021, U.S. District Judge Alida A. Trauger issued an injunction on July 9th, 2021. He struck it down, the laws, in May of 2022, partly on the grounds that it violated business owners' First Amendment rights. It's just completely unconstitutional all the way around. All the way around! But I digress. On March 26, 2021, Governor Lee signed a bill to ban transgender youth from school athletic sports. April 22nd, 2022, he signed into law Public Chapter 1005 of the Tennessee Code, mandating that parents wanting their children to participate in sports in public schools provide evidence of the gender assigned at birth, because nobody has the right to privacy. Anyways, I digress. Florida's wasn't even this bad, and Florida's was bad. May 2021, Governor Lee signed into law a ban on puberty blockers for prepubescent children that went into immediate effect. 2023, the ban was expanded to make it illegal to provide gender affirming health care to any transgender person under 18, both in state and via telehealth from out of state. People who receive gender affirming care as minors and who later regret it will be able to sue their parents, guardians, and physicians. The law also allows the Tennessee Attorney General to sue any healthcare professional providing such care to be sued for $25,000. May 2024, Lee signed a bill that would apply civil penalties to adults who help a minor receive gender affirming care. June 2023, a federal court issued a partial temporary injunction. A stay of the injunction was later obtained by the Attorney General. 2024, the Tennessee State Legislature passed a ban on gender affirming care for Tennessee inmates. Remember, this was the period in time when all the red states were passing transgender bans. June 2024, the United States Supreme Court agreed to review the legality of Tennessee's Republican-backed transgender ban on gender-affirming medical care for transgender minors following an appeal by President Biden's administration. The challengers argued the ban violated U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment equal protection and due process clauses. Similar bans in other states claim to protect children from harmful treatments, while medical associations support gender affirming care as essential. Plaintiffs, including transgender minors and their parents, sued to defend the treatments. The decision follows a Sixth Circuit Court ruling that upheld the ban, reversing a federal judge's previous injunction. So, the Supreme Court is okay with violating the equal protection and due process clause of the 14th Amendment. But it's not the first time it's happened. Anyway, let me stop because I'm just getting angrier and angrier. Okay.